Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video. Today we're doing a Marvel Rivals tier list based on how good I think they are. Of course, it's not objective. There are I don't think there's any ever gonna be objective opinion on who's good and not. Of course, it'll be like, oh, who's bad, who's this or that. But it's like just who I believe is good from my experience. Of course, it depends on your rank, your skill, all that. So for my rank and skill, this is all my opinion. It's but let's go into this. So let's start with Cloak and Dagger. Also remember, like, start with Vacation Bow. I'm gonna put. I'll put. Ooh, I'll put A tier. They have a pretty good kit. Cloak is obviously more focused on like support, support in the sense of the traditional like. Not traditional like Dagger is focused on healing. Cloak is not. Dagger has a healing wall of light that heals people. She can throw her daggers that do damage and heal. Her daggers have a bit of tracking, but not too much. Um, you know, she has her good kit. Cloak has his invisibility, or he has like his prime first, like Moira's. It's pretty good. And then he has his invisibility where he can drag people close to him and himself like in our realm for like a few seconds, and then they get out. It's not super long, so it's not super busted. And then he has his wall that not only does damage but blinds them. And then their ultimate I thought was bad at first, but then the more it's like, speaking of Marvel Rivals, I have a friend playing Marvel Rivals, but Marvel Rivals right now. But anyway, I think the more it's been going into, the better I think I've gotten to it. It's gotten. Of course, you got their ultimate. If you do in like a little area, especially do on point, you're gonna take the enemies. If the enemies go in point to get it, they're gonna be taking damage and you'll be healing. So let's say it's a Hulk and a Wolver, or two Hulks on a thing. Your Hulk's gonna be better. Your Hulk's gonna be healing while their Hulk's taking damage already passively, so you'll be doing more. Wolverine, I'm really mixed on him. He does. I'm say C B tier. He is percent based damage, so he is really good against tanks. Like he shreds tanks. But his problem are DPS and healers. Since he does percentage based damage, it doesn't do anything crazy to them, like to the healers and DPS. And I think at first people just thought Wolverine did no damage, but no, it's just percentage based. So against tanks he shreds, and even again he's still pretty good himself. It's just that he's gonna have tough times against other duelists who do set amount of damages. So like I think if you put a 1v1 for Wolverine against other characters, he's gonna do good against a tank, okay against a healer, but bad against a DPS. But you can still get a win against DPS. He has a good kit. He has his rage, of course, that does more damage to tanks. He just has a nice kit, and he can be thrown and picked up by the Hulk. Although it's not the best, but it's still there. Ooh, Venom. I don't think Venom's no. I think Venom right now is only S tier because seasonal buff. I think he's just A tier overall. Um, I'm gonna put S tier though right now because this is season zero. Season zero. He's S tier because of his seasonal buff. He has good damage. You can constantly hold down the attack button. His little thing where it goes onto enemies around him. His E ability, I think, and then I don't know if you guys know, but it does 80 damage if it's explosive or you don't get off. His ultimate's not the best, but it's okay. It does some good. It's good. It some does some good area damage. I think is nice. And he has like and his E ability or no, his E ability shield. His E ability shield, and that keeps you up. And he has his swing, of course, of his dive kick. I actually don't use that too often. I think I only really use it for mobility. I just don't think it's as useful for like attack and stuff, the dive. But it's still good. Thor. Thor, I'm gonna say, in my opinion, is like a solid A tier. Actually, I'm put B tier because I think he's a bit harder to use. Actually, no, A tier. There's one tank that's extremely hard to use, or a lot harder to use. Thor, he has a pretty solid kit. He has his hammer, of course. Can do like five range attacks before he switches to base melee hammer. His kit's alright. He does a lot of electricity. Of course, he's electricity. He can take some hits. I think the one thing holding him back is um the other tanks have more like tank features to them. Thor just had like a lot of health and stuff. Like Venom can like give himself like 300 extra health. A lot of other tanks can like give themselves something. Captain America has a shield that blocks everything. It just feels like in comparison, Thor is like the least with all that, in my opinion. Punisher. Punisher is probably in Punisher. I'd say B, not say A tier. His turns actually no B tier. I think he has a good kit. His turn's good. Everything he has good is he's easily counterable. So let's say I made Psylocke, so I'm gonna pick Psylocke up a lot if I bring up duelists. If I made Psylocke, I can turn invisible, go me have Punisher, and melt them. That's what I've done before. If I'm playing Doctor Strange, you can make a port behind him, melt them. It's just Punisher has counters with his turn and stuff. His primary fire is it's good. He also could change shotgun. His ultimate is actually pretty good. It's the Judge or Executioner. He does like the rapid fire with the missiles. He's an overall pretty good character. I just don't think he's outstanding like some of the others. Storm, I think, is D tier. I don't think there's any F tier characters. Storm is perfectly balanced as a character, and I think that's the worst thing. Every character in this game has at least something overpowered about them, except for Storm. Okay, her ultimate is overpowered, but other than not even overpowered, it's just good. It's a good ultimate, but even then, it's not overpowered. She has a giant wind. She drives you in. She has two modes: a speed and a damage buff. Luckily, she's getting buffed in next season, which is in 3 days from now. So I can't wait to see how she is then. She just doesn't do enough. I think her lightning, her secondary, needs more like ammo on it before it goes away. Because I think she'd be a lot better then. Especially as a DPS, she doesn't do that much damage. Next is Peter. I'm gonna give him a solid A tier. Peter is melts characters. Actually, I'm gonna give S tier. Peter actually melts characters. Like playing a Venom, of course he has to reload, but it's like very fast reload. It's like Tracer's guns. I don't want to compare Overwatch, but that's the closest way to compare his guns to. But he melts characters like really easily. Like he could probably kill DPS in like 1.5, support in 2, and like a tank in 3. And of course he has a lot of mobility with his like his like flips and stuff. His legendary, his ultimate, he brings out his gun, his auto aim. That ultimate is pretty annoying. Um, I can't say it's busted. It's just annoying because he can only hit one at a time. I guess you could kill him before. It's just annoying. But yeah, no, it's a good ultimate. He's a good character. Squirrel Girl. Um, honestly, like B tier. I shouldn't put C tier because I haven't played against Squirrel Girl enough to say that she's bad, but she's also not. I haven't played against her enough to say she's good. From what I've seen from her, she's very average. Spider Man. I'll put C tier just because. Okay, realistic Spider Man's like an A tier, S tier character. I think A tier. But it's just that so many Spider Man players are dog shit at him. Like they're F tier players playing an A tier character. And he's difficult. I'll say this. I'm not playing Spider Man. He's difficult. Um, it can be good. His kit's pretty good. He can swing around, of course. The web crawling. He has the physical attacks, but he can do his few webs. He can pull them in. I think the pull in is a very good tactic. I've seen people like take people off the edge with that. It's just very good. I don't think people utilize enough. Like a lot of Spider-Man players, they don't go in the air and then come down and do a slam as their starting hit because that does a good amount of damage. And his ultimate can be good if you don't miss like 90% of Spider-Man players. Wanda, I say lower rank players. I'm sorry, Wanda is not S tier. Wanda realistically is like a B tier. She doesn't do much damage. Is her problem. Her primary fire. Okay, I will say her primary fire is just annoying. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It's just I think combined with her teammates, Wanda is like an A tier, S tier character. But by herself, Wanda's like a B tier. So like, let's say you're fighting 1v1 against another player, while the rest of your team's going against our team. You're just not be able to kill them because you don't do enough damage. What I will say is your primary fire. It's good for multiple like counters other with groups because you can hold that and you don't have to be aiming at them. I literally went like let's say opponent was here, I turned here, it was still hitting them. It's super dumb to tracking on that. Her secondary is actually good, not really good, but it's okay. Her invisibility is the most annoying thing about her. She can just run away, and it's just so stupid. I think the best thing they could do for Wanda, not only to bring her up a tier, but to make her like less annoying for like newer players and stuff, or like worse players. Make the runaway ability less time, or let you hit, or make it so you can hit them in it, or just make it slower, and then make her primary fire do more damage, but I actually have to aim. Like you could have a bit of tracking, like if this was the little thing, maybe like this area, but like they're doing this area, and then I just think that's the problem with like lower rank players. A Rocket Raccoon is a solid B tier. Actually, I'm an A tier in my opinion. I'll say I play with my friend. My friend plays Rocket Raccoon, so I play with him a good amount. Play with him a good amount. Rocket Raccoon is not a healer. He sucks to the healer. But again, the it's not called the healer class. It's called the support class, and he's pretty good at support. He can drop armor. He drops armor with his one ability. He can heal with his even his healing is but it's still something. His primary fire is pretty good. He can give infinite ammo to Bucky and the Winter Soldier, aka Bucky, and Punisher, which is really good. Except half of all insta-lock DPS with walk out of it, then complain they can't get heals. That was a real story. They're playing they didn't get heals. Meanwhile, they're at 100 health, and my friend that was playing Rocket was getting mauled by a team because they were not doing anything. Also, the Punisher had a 31% aim rate, and he didn't switch off shotgun once. So I don't know how you even get that aim. But yeah, he's a good support character, and his ultimate's really good. He's just a support character. Actually, I'm moving down to B tier. I don't think he's A tier, but he's definitely not like C or D tier. As a Psylocke player, I'll give Psylocke an A tier. So lower ranked players, I know you're gonna say the ultimate's so busted. It isn't. You're just bad. As a Psylocke player, I've probably died as much times using the ultimate as not. As I've probably died as much times trying to use the ultimate as I've died actually hitting the ultimate. There's like a solid like 4 or 5 seconds you can just maul me to death, and it's really easy. I don't have Psylocke has like no health, especially no seasonal buff stuff. I have no survivability during my ult when I'm using my ultimate. I can't do anything. I'm stuck in the animation, and I'm really slow. Like normally I can move like that. You literally move slightly while doing the ult before using ultimate, and you could easily maul it. Her primary fire is good. It's pretty good. What people don't realize is you can be a bit further. Like I'll do it from a distance sometimes, and not just much damage. It'll still be damage. If you get a headshot, you're gonna do good damage. Her secondary fire, I don't think people realize to use it. If you throw it, they stay in for a few seconds, but wherever your mouse is, they come back to wherever your mouse is. Let's say there's a tank here and a tank here. I throw the shurikens, they go back here. I aim my marker at the tank here. The shurikens will hit the person they're in. They'll hit the tank that they're onto again when they come off him, and then hit the other person and come back. Or if they're in the wall, they'll hit both tanks and come back. Like it's good. It's just that some people don't know how to use it. But fair, it's that's I think that's the big reason why Psylocke's a 5-star character. It's just because of that. Also, it's hard to survive Psylocke. I think what gives her low survivability though is her E ability, which makes you turn invisible for 3 seconds. Although you can, unlike Wanda, you can still be hit during it. So it's pretty. It's not like amazing, or it's pretty. It can be balanced because you can. Let's an enemy team could easily still kill you if they just try to like guess where you are and they all fire. Like a or like Wolverine, he'll chase you down still. An area damage character will still hit you. Um, People use the swords wrong to sword dash. What I do personally, is if let's say there's a tank right here and I'm trying to get away from them, I dash through them and then dash again. I don't dash through them once and then dash through them the other way. I dash away from them to gain distance, because you need some distance. Because you could use Psylocke at distance, she'll be good. I did talk a bit about Psylocke. That's I main Psylocke. Another character I play a good amount is Penny Parker. S tier. Another thing people be like, some people at the beginning were like, Penny Parker's slow, but there's a strat. So the strat to gain place fast with Penny Parker is use your shift ability. It's shift on PC, by the way. I'm gonna give her a god tier. I'm not doing that. And then it puts it down, and then you go faster in it. Right when you get out of it, destroy it, and then use your E ability to go to a web. To go fast, really forward. Then immediately put your thing down. You just do that until you reach the point, and you get there pretty fast. That's really good. Penny Parker is really good. She can use her web thing to put webs all over the place where the spiders come out. Her ultimate's really good. One for her during ultimate, she runs around placing spider mines everywhere, and you can place a lot of them. And her other ability, she can hit you up with her um, with the thingies on the back, which is I don't know what it's used for, but it does a good amount of damage, so that's fine, I guess. Her primary fire is pretty good. Her secondary fire can actually cancel ults. I've canceled Wanda's ult, and I've canceled Wanda's ult during them trying to use it because I webbed them. I canceled our Penny Parker's ult right before to use it because the star animation you can web them and then it cancels their ult. But I think it's pretty good. Yeah, she's an overall really good character. Namor, I think is C tier. I don't think he's amazing, but I don't think he's terrible. I just also don't think enough people play Namor for me to be like, oh yeah, he's good or he's bad. I just haven't seen enough Namor. S tier. Moon Knight, um, what they needed, Moon Knight players just aim at the floor and take and get kills. It's just Moon Knight is not a hard character to play. Although he is cool, I love Moon Knight. But you just throw the star things at the floor, and then if you put an Ankh down, you throw up the certain thing. Okay, realistic Moon Knight's A tier. I'll put say, but with the teammates I'm getting, he's a S tier because they do not know what the Ankhs do. So I end up having to break the Ankhs because all of them are not paying attention, and we're all taking tons of damage from Moon Knight. And especially with his secondary fire, that goes between people. But with the Ankh, it does tons of damage. His ultimate isn't actually that good. The moon haunts you. It does like the big thing, but you can easily get out of that. It's just that his primary fire is really good, and people don't know how to use, don't know what the Onks do because they're actually dumb. And also his double jump glide is pretty cool. He has a good amount of movability. Mantis uh, is S tier. Mantis healing is actually stupid. I almost killed a tank, and I almost killed a Groot holding a rocket. And do you know what happened? The Mantis healed them right back to full. Her ultimate's really good. Her primary fire does some good damage, and her heals. She just has a really good kit. Magneto. I'm gonna say B tier. Actually, I'm gonna say A tier. People underrate how good Magneto is. People underrate the tanks a lot. Tanks are really good. Magneto, okay, for Magneto, you just have to get metal around you, more metal. The more metal you get, the more damage you do. And his kit's just really good. Fear Magneto isn't the best, but if it hits, it does good damage. Um, he has a shield. I think his shield's really good. It's fairly balanced because it only has like it has 500 health, but people are able to take down a few seconds. But you can still like give some support to your team cover. His secondary fire is really good. If it's at max, it can insta kill DPS's I believe supports, and he's just really good. Or he's just good. Magneto's good. Magic. Magic, no, I don't think people play. Magic has gotten better. I'd say Magic's like A tier. The more people start playing it. Magic, it's just that her sword does some good damage. If you, the best thing to do is her second row. She goes in thing. The demon's really not that good. The good one's the sword spin because that hits a bunch of enemies. Her ultimate's pretty good. It's really good, and she's good. And her charge up, it takes a second to charge up, which is a bit disadvantageous, but once you get it, it does really good damage. So Magic's really good. So Luna Snow is in S tier. As a current Luna Snow player, switching to Ultron right when he comes out, I'm telling you that right now. Um, but yeah, Luna Snow is really good. Her she's also seasonal buff, so she does more healing. But she has 275 health with the sure ice. Okay, the one thing that some people overestimate is her ice block, where she shoots ice. It's not the easiest to hit, and I've been ice before, and nobody even shot me. Because people are really dumb while playing rivals. Her primary fire is pretty good. It heals. It does damage. Her not second, but when you did shift and it did psh, psh, if you don't know what that does, if there's three people on your team lined up row, it heals all three of them. If there's three enemies on row, it does damage to all three of them. If there's somebody on our team, an enemy, and somebody on our team, it does damage to the enemy in the middle and heals the team outside. It's like a beam that goes through. It's really good. Her ultimate, of course, is really good, like really busted. It's just good. Although the ult can be countered with other ults. It's like maximum pulse from Iron Man will cancel or will destroy Luna's ult because it does max health. Loki's definitely S tier. His kit is really good, in my opinion. He has the clones. The clones can be annoying, but they all fire. They do really good damage. He can switch around with the clones if he's in trouble. Of course, he does healing. His healing isn't the best, but if you have the three clones, his healing is good. Of course, his ultimate is to copy other characters. So he could. That already means he could copy like other S tier characters, or you could have somebody on my team who copied like a Namor for some reason. But yeah, he has a really good kit. I hate Jeff Blandshark. Realistically, he's not S tier. He's A tier. I just hate this shark so much, so I'm putting in F tier. I hate Jeff. I think my biggest complaint about Jeff is his ultimate, which luckily they are reducing next season. If it wasn't for his ultimate, I think people wouldn't be nearly as mad at Jeff because his primary fire is good, or his like attack damage. It's like okay, it does DPS damage, but even that's not too bad because it doesn't have a lot of like other damage moves. I think they need to reduce. They need to change something about the bubbles to make it worse because the bubbles is really good. Even though half Jeff players don't know how to use them. What does need to happen though is every Jeff player, the second they get hit, the second they get low, goes to water, runs away, and half the time, you're worried about another team, other enemies, so you're not able to shoot them. And yeah, it's just Jeff. I hate Jeff. I hate him. But yeah, his ultimate luckily being reduced, and that's the only reason he's F tier because I hate him. Maximum pulse. Both flyers are like D tier. I think okay. The one thing holding back the flyers is how not mobile they are. I know it's weird to say about characters that can fly, but they don't go super fast. Iron Man can go to point fast, but once you're in a like to attack, you're moving very slowly in the sky. And I think if people were competent and actually looked in the sky for Iron Man, he would not be near as problem. Maximum Pulse is pretty funny. It's not amazing, but it's good. Of course it one shots and does like area damage, but most of the time you can pretty easily dodge it. Now we have Mr. Fantastic who's coming that can reflect it. Um, and his kit isn't the best. I think what they do underutilize is Iron Man players don't utilize the beam enough. The M2 that does really good damage. You can melt health. Next is the Hulk. I say A tier because the Hulk is like perfectly balanced in every way possible. He's like he has the mechanic where he goes from big to small when he dies, but Bruce Banner still has survivability. So let's say you want to get out there instantly, he has a grenade to hop him out, or he has a grenade to do damage. He could still do some pretty good damage as base form, and he's like smaller and skinny, so he can't be hit as much. As Hulk, he's pretty good. He has his clap, his stink aura thing from the head. Of course, he has his punches and his ultimate. Sorry. His ultimate turns him into World Breaker Hulk, which I think is really good. If you didn't know why I took my thing, because the pressure for my yawning. Hela is definitely S tier. Um, so Hawkeye. If you don't think so, they're the only two characters getting nerfed. Hela does insane damage, and so is Hawkeye. Hawkeye literally one shots, and Hela two shots to the head, which isn't hard. And she's just stupid. Hela. And Hawkeye is also really dumb. Especially if his Hawkeye's ultimate. Both their ultimates are really good, but I think Hawkeye's ultimate is especially a problem. I don't know how to even balance it because it leads an afterimage and you can shoot the afterimages. If you headshot with max power to the afterimage, they're dead. And it's not hard because the afterimages can't move, so they stay there. Groot. Groot's A tier. He has not good survival. He has like the walls and stuff. You can use it pretty well. Actually, fun fact: the walls can block stuff such as Jeff's ultimate or Wanda's ultimate, which I think is really cool. Of course, he has his like he can take some damage. He doesn't have super far range, but he has range. His ultimate pulls them together. Groot's ultimate is very well paired with Doctor Strange's ultimate. We'll get to Doctor Strange's though when we get to it, so I'll talk about that in a second. Actually, Doctor Strange here. Doctor Strange is also A tier. Doctor Strange has his portal, of course. The portal actually lets you charge up to 95% instantly if you kill your entire team. Yes. Eye of Agamotto's ultimate can be paired very well with Groot's. So what Eye of Agamotto does, he uses it, and everyone in a circle radius gets frozen so they can't move. So if you pair Groot who pulls everyone and then use Eye of Agamotto, the entire team will be frozen. You can like melt them down with DPSs and stuff. He has his shield, which is really good. Does it's really wide area, and he's just a good kit. Also, his like blast goes is really good and does good area damage. Assemble to B tier. No, Captain America's like A tier, but he's not say B tier because the one problem with Captain America is he's extremely hard to play. Oh, my CD coaster came with it. He has his shield, of course. It blocks damage. He's just good. He's not nothing crazy, but he does some good damage and stuff. Black Panther is C tier. He has more movability, survivability than the Flyers because he actually move around. But in my personal experience, he just does no damage. Black Panther player, you know the scene where Iron Man does like in Infinity War, Iron Man does like a bunch of stuff for like one little scratch on Thanos. That's a Black Panther player doing all that just to kill somebody and not even kill somebody, just give him like 10 health. Adam Warlock is definitely S tier. I think at the beginning people didn't use him as much because not much people were playing Adam Warlock, but now his ultimate's really good rise everyone. His secondary fire does good damage. His prime fire does good damage. His healing's actually insane. Soul Bond is really good. It's just he's really good tip. Armed and dangerous again, again. I'm gonna give it S tier. It's really weird. I mean, S tier has a lot of characters, but I guess that's like I feel like every character would be S tier in a way. But yeah, Winter Soldier is really good. His pistol is prime fire can 3 shots to the head. So if you have a rocket on your team, you don't have to reload that. Also, it's really just slow. His secondary is his punch, which is really good because it knocks them up in the air and stuns them for a second. His side is like the orb. I don't know what the orb does. I know it does damage. Like he goes, it's really good. And his ultimate is armed and dangerous. He has one hit that brings everyone to 40% health that gets hit by it, but they have a little red bar. If you kill them before the red bar goes away, you get your ultimate back, and then you say again, and you can basically do that forever. But yeah, he's really good. Iron Fist, I'm stay A tier. I think if play Iron Fist played correctly, he's S tier. But most players just pick the Iron Fist because of the memes about him. But he's not. I don't know. He's good, but he is harder to master. But I feel like once you master him, he's definitely moves up to S tier. And Black Widow's like C tier. Black Widow isn't amazing. I'll say Black Widow's balanced. I don't know about Scroll like I said, but these 3 characters are definitely more balanced characters. But Black Widow is like a very. I think Black Widow is very like balanced sniper. I like how she doesn't had one insta shot or insta kill to the head. That'd be very annoying. Overwatch, Widowmaker. But yeah, I just like the 90% and you can shoot again, especially because it's semi-auto. You have to wait for it to charge all the way back up. So I just think it's really good. I don't have much else to say other than thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, catch bell, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.